135,000 to 150,000 men sailing to Japan. However, if you know anything about medieval and classical historians and their approach to reporting on numbers involved in wars, they have a tendency towards exaggeration. But either way, this force was almost certainly many times larger than the last one. Kublai planned for a smaller first fleet to leave Korea and take these islands here, which would give the main fleet departing from China somewhere to assemble before launching the invasion of the Japanese mainland. That was the theory, but when the first fleet arrived in Japan and took the Tsushima and Iki Islands again, its leaders decided that they would lead a small detachment of their own to secure a footing before the Japanese could react. They briefly established a small beachhead here, but the Japanese fortifications and fierce resistance meant that they couldn't advance. The remnants retreated to here, Shikanoshima Island, until raiding by samurai forced them to yet again retreat back to Iki Island, where, as planned, they would await the arrival of the main force. Slight problem though, the plan had changed. Yuan military leaders worried that landing in the same place as the first invasion was stupid, and so they decided to land here on Hirado Island, which they were able to take with relative ease. The main force then sent two small detachments to the north, one to tell the first force where to meet them, and the second to take the island of Takashima as a midway point between the two. Yet more samurai raiding meant that the first force were more than happy to depart, and they quickly abandoned Iki Island. They joined up with the main force, and after some skirmishes, Yuan leaders were preparing for the long march up through Japan. However, this would have to be delayed because of a famous typhoon, Kamikaze, the Divine Wind. This wrecked the overwhelming majority of the Yuan fleet and stranded the army, but that was okay because the leaders of the expedition had a plan that would fix everything. But before they could put it into action, they quickly just had to go and see this thing, but don't worry about it. They're not coming back. So with the army abandoned, it wasn't long before the Japanese attacked and finished off the rest of it. And whilst it goes without saying that the typhoon was disastrous for the Mongol design on Japan, it's important to note that even without them, the Japanese were more than capable of repelling the invaders at a high cost to themselves.